There was a time when I could tell how the day would feel by the way my shoulders looked in the mirror, not consciously, just a quick scan, a silent approval or not. Some mornings I stood there longer than I meant to, not fixing anything, just checking that nothing had slipped overnight. It wasn't panic, it was maintenance. I didn't feel trapped by it, which is usually how these things get you. This wasn't a young person's obsession. That's important. I was already well into adult life. Bills, deadlines, long conversations about things that didn't really move anything forward. I wasn't trying to become someone. I was trying to remain someone I recognized. Training had become one of the few places where effort still showed up clean. You put work in. Something changes. I like that honesty. My days were crowded, but my workouts were protected. Early mornings or late evenings squeezed between obligations. They were non-negotiable, and I wore that like proof of character. People read it as discipline, sometimes as inspiration. No one saw the quiet edge underneath it, the way I didn't quite rest on rest days, the way eating was never neutral, never just food. I didn't think of my body as an enemy, more like a dependent, something that needed constant supervision so it wouldn't fall apart. The cost wasn't visible enough to count. I wasn't exhausted in a way that earned concern. I wasn't injured badly enough to justify stopping. But there was this low-grade tension living under my skin, like everything was slightly braced, slightly held. I woke up already clenched, jaw tight, breath shallow, as if the day was something to get through physically, not just mentally. There were moments when movement felt rehearsed, safe, controlled, but not adaptable. If something unexpected happened, a sudden reach, a stumble, a quick lift, my body hesitated before responding. That pause bothered me more than pain would have. I noticed how often I avoided certain situations without admitting it. Sitting on the floor too long, helping someone move something heavy, playing around without warming up first. Not because I couldn't, because I didn't want to feel exposed. There was also the mental noise, always there, always counting something. Calories, reps, rest, appearance. A background hum I didn't remember turning on. The recognition didn't come with insight. It came with embarrassment. Not public, private. That grocery moment stayed with me longer than it should have. The way my grip failed before my legs did. The way I adjusted my posture to compensate automatically without thinking. I stood there for a second longer than necessary, letting the blood come back to my fingers, feeling older than I looked. Later that week, I caught my reflection in a store window. Same outline I'd worked for, same familiar shape, and suddenly it felt decorative. That word didn't feel fair, but it didn't leave. I didn't confront it. I didn't journal about it. I just noticed it sitting there like something that had been waiting. After that, small things started registering differently. How long it took me to recover from simple effort. How careful I was without admitting that care had turned into avoidance. I realized I trusted my appearance more than my capacity. That realization didn't feel wise. It felt late. I didn't replace the goal with a better one. I didn't upgrade the story. I just stopped feeding the old one. At first, that looked like confusion. workouts that didn't have a clear purpose, movements that felt inefficient, almost sloppy. There were days I left early, which was harder than staying. There were weeks where nothing seemed to be happening, no visible progress, no reward I could point to. I felt a quiet panic around that, like I was neglecting something important and calling it maturity. My body softened in places I used to protect. My reflection lost its sharpness. I didn't like that. I also didn't fix it. Instead, I kept choosing movements that didn't require me to perform, carrying things awkwardly instead of optimizing the grip. Staying low to the ground longer than comfortable, letting my breath get loud, uneven, uncontained. I stopped training parts in isolation, not as a philosophy. I just lost interest. I wanted to know what my body could handle without being arranged first. That meant discomfort I couldn't aestheticize, effort that didn't look impressive. Letting go cost me more than muscle. It cost me identity. I hadn't realized how much of my self-respect was tied to looking put together, physically competent, controlled. Without that feedback, there were days I felt strangely unmoored, less solid, less legible to myself. I questioned myself more, not in a philosophical way, in a practical one. Was I letting myself go? Was this neglect disguised as acceptance? Those questions didn't get answered cleanly. They faded slowly, replaced by different signals. My body started responding differently to the day, not impressively, reliably. I noticed I didn't brace before lifting things anymore. I didn't plan my movements 2 steps ahead. I could move fast without preparation, recover without a ritual. My sleep changed, not deeper, quieter. I stopped waking up already tense, already laid inside my own body. The mirror became less informative, which was unsettling at first. Then it became irrelevant more often than not. I didn't feel proud of this shift. There was no sense of achievement in it. I just felt more available to the day, to other people, to my own limits. I don't think training for appearance is shallow. I think it's precise. It gave me something real at a time when I needed containment, a way to feel held together when other things felt loose. But it asked for a constant payment, attention, control, delay. Stopping didn't make me freer. It made me less occupied. There's a difference. My body now feels like something I can arrive in, late, unprepared, and still be okay. I lost a shape I knew how to maintain. I gained a capacity I don't monitor. That trade wasn't obvious, and it wasn't clean. This worked. It took me too long to choose it, and some days I still miss what I let go of. If this story crossed something you recognize, maybe it's enough to stay for a bit. I write and speak like this from experience, not conclusions. If you want, subscribe. And if something stayed with you, leave a comment. I read them, sometimes in silence,